Okay, so if you're looking ahead, maybe towards the next decade, say 2025 to 2035, well, you're probably realizing it's going to be one of the most disruptive times for jobs we've seen ever, perhaps.
Yeah, it can feel a bit chaotic.
Definitely overwhelming, especially trying to figure out where the actual opportunities are when, AI seems to be changing the rules every few months.
It really does feel like that. But I wouldn't call it chaos exactly. It's more like acceleration and the smart money, the really significant jobs. They're heading into very specific
High
areas.
skill zones.
High skill zones, exactly. Places responding directly to what technology needs. So our mission today is to take a deep dive into the source material you've gathered and pull out those top five most in-demand future jobs.
And we're not just talking job titles here, right?
No, absolutely not. We need to get into the skills, the actual foundations you'll need to, well, thrive in this new landscape.
Right. We want this to be a kind of roadmap for you listening. Forget the general anxiety about automation for a minute.
Yeah, let's focus.
Let's focus on where the massive investment is actually going and where those real skill gaps are popping up. So, shall we unpack this? Maybe start with the big forces reshaping everything, intelligence and security.
Sounds good. And that brings us straight to the first critical role, arguably the most defining one for the next 10 years, the AI specialist.
Okay, AI specialist. It seems obvious, maybe, but let's zoom in a bit. Your sources define this as way more than just coding, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. We're talking about the architects, people designing and developing AI systems that can genuinely understand context, learn deeply, make smart decisions.
Building the brains of the operation.
Pretty much the neural networks that will underpin, well, huge chunks of the new global economy. What's really interesting in the sources is the type of demand. It's not just general AI skills.
Well,
No, it's specialized. The real urgency is for specialists who can build bespoke AI systems. Think personalized medicine.
like analyzing genetic data for drug effectiveness.
Exactly that. Or fine-tuning these massive language models, but for really specific industries like legal research or complex supply chain predictions, that kind of thing.
Okay, so if I were thinking about going into this field, am I just constantly chasing the newest tool? Or is there a solid foundation I can build on?
Oh, the foundation is absolutely crucial. You can't skip it. It boils down to Python programming. That's key. Really robust data analysis skills.
Which means more than just plugging numbers into software.
Way more. It means understanding the statistics behind it, the why, and then deep practical expertise in machine learning, especially understanding things like neural network architectures. These are the tools, the building blocks for turning messy, massive data into intelligent action.
But hang on, if we're building systems designed to automate intelligence, aren't AI specialists kind of, automating their own jobs away eventually? Do the sources touch on that? Is there a human oversight layer that keeps growing with the tech?
That's a really important question. And yes, the sources definitely emphasize this. AI takes over the repetitive stuff, the grunt work, maybe.
Okay.
But the human role, it shifts. It elevates, really. It becomes about design, crucial ethical oversight, and the strategic application. You need a human expert to define the problem in the first place, to curate the data AI learns from, and importantly, to debug the biases or errors that inevitably creep in. The job doesn't vanish, it just gets more sophisticated.
Got it. So we've built this incredibly powerful digital intelligence, which then immediately becomes the #1 target for bad actors.
Unfortunately, yes.
Which leads us directly to the second critical role for this foundation, the cybersecurity expert.
And as literally everything gets connected, or health records, the power grid, you name it, the cyber expert goes from being, a helpful IT function to an absolutely fundamental necessity.
Their job is protection, pure and simple.
Pure and simple, but incredibly complex. Protecting digital systems, data, critical infrastructure from being infiltrated, compromised, attacked electronically. It's constant vigilance.
And the why behind the demand. It's just staggering, isn't it? It's basically reacting to the rise of really sophisticated cybercrime.
Yeah.
State-sponsored attacks, large criminal rings.
Precisely. The need for this role maps directly onto the skyrocketing cost of data breaches. It's simple. If you hold valuable data, someone, somewhere, is actively trying to steal or exploit it.
And it's not just defense anymore.
No, that's a key point in the source material. Huge demand now for offense simulation. People who can think like the attacker to find the weaknesses first. Penetration testing, red teaming.
Right. So what skills do you need for that kind of high-stakes battle? You mentioned programming earlier for AI. Is that relevant here too? I mean, if the job is defense?
It is, surprisingly often. Yes, you absolutely need a deep understanding of networks, encryption methods, all that, but programming. It's key for developing custom defense tools. Against brand new threats, those zero-day exploits that haven't been patched yet, standard software won't cut it. You need someone who can rapidly write specific defenses. And then there's the whole area of breach analysis.
Breach analysis.
Yeah.
So is that just finding the security hole after the fact? Or is it more involved, like forensics, reporting?
It's the whole forensic deep dive. You have to reconstruct exactly how the attack happened, pinpoint the entry point, seal the breach, obviously, but then also navigate the whole regulatory mess afterwards.
Wow, okay.
It's part detective, part systems medic, and part compliance officer, all rolled into one.
Fantastic. Okay, so we've tackled the digital brain, essentially, and secured it. Now let's pivot. We need to look at protecting and maybe even augmenting the physical world. Human life, the planet itself.
Good transition.
Which takes us away from the purely digital and into our next two crucial roles. Where do we start?
Let's go with job number 3, the biotech engineer.
Right. This is where that convergence of fields gets really interesting, I think. The biotech engineer works right at that intersection of medicine and technology, developing tangible physical solutions.
Exactly. We're talking things like next-gen smart prosthetics that integrate with the nervous system.
Wow.
Using powerful genetic editing tools like CRISPR, or even, and this is huge, tissue cultivation, growing organoids for testing, or potentially tissues for transplants.
That's incredible. It feels like this field is just exploding right now. Why the boom?
Well, a big part of it is because we finally have the computational power bringing us back to that AI piece we discussed to tackle biological problems that were just unsolvable a decade ago.
So AI helps model biology.
Precisely. Data analysis lets these engineers model complex biological systems, predict how genetic changes might play out, speed up drug discovery from, years down to months sometimes.
That's mind-blowing. Engineering the human body itself? It feels like it's redefining medicine. The skill set must be incredibly broad then.
It has to be. Truly multidisciplinary. You need a solid grounding in biology, obviously. Core engineering principles are essential. Expertise in genetics is increasingly vital. And again, that high-level data analysis capability, you're essentially engineering systems.
And that just happened to be biological.
Exactly.
Okay, so moving from the health of the human body to the health of the planet, our fourth essential role, these sustainability specialists.
Right. And this role has seen a dramatic shift, hasn't it? From being maybe a niche environmental passion
To being a core part of corporate strategy.
Absolutely. The job is about researching, developing, and implementing practical solutions for environmental preservation, minimizing waste, and seriously cutting carbon emissions, usually across large organizations. It's like applied environmental economics.
Why this sudden urgency? I mean, beyond the obvious fact that we need a healthier planet, what market forces are making this explode now?
It really boils down to money, a lot of it, driven by global policy shifts and, crucially, investor pressure.
The ESG factor.
The ESG factor is massive. Environmental, social, and governance metrics. Yes, there's the global push for clean energy, but companies now need strong, provable ESG performance to attract investment, to avoid regulatory fines.
So these specialists aren't just, tree huggers in the boardroom anymore. They're vital for the bottom line. Fiduciary responsibility.
Exactly. They're strategic implementers, which means the skills needed go way beyond basic environmental science. You need environmental engineering knowledge, definitely. Strong project management skills are critical.
Because these are big, complex changes.
Huge, multi-year infrastructural shifts, often. And inevitably, you need that ability to do energy data analysis, to measure progress, verify savings, optimize efficiency, and to report it all accurately.
Right. Got to prove it works. Okay, we've covered the digital brain, physical health, planetary health. That leaves the fifth role on our list, perhaps the most culturally disruptive. The architect of where we might spend a lot more of our time.
The master of the virtual realm.
The digital creator and VR developer.
Yeah, this category covers the people designing that really advanced 3D visual content, building interactive, high-fidelity experiences in virtual reality, augmented reality.
And it's not just games, is it? The sources emphasize that.
No, not just games at all. They're building the infrastructure for the next iteration of the internet in many ways.
And the why now from your sources really hits home. It's about major daily activities, education, entertainment, complex job training, even shopping. increasingly moving into these immersive virtual spaces.
That's the key insight.
If factories are using digital twins in VR to plan maintenance, or universities are teaching history through immersive VR simulations, well, you need people to actually build those detailed functional worlds.
They are the craftspeople of this new space. It's a massive part of the emerging experience economy.
So what are the specific skills needed to build these virtual worlds? It's got to be more than just being creative, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's a highly technical pipeline. First, you need serious 3D design skills, modeling environments, characters, objects. Then you need programming chops, specifically with the big game engines like Unity or Unreal Engine.
Those are the tools that actually make the world run.
Exactly. They render the graphics, handle the physics, the interactions. And finally, yes, you do need that strong visual creativity, but also a keen sense of user experience design. The virtual space has to be intuitive and engaging, not just technically impressive.
Okay, great. Let's zoom out for a second. We've looked at 5 really key future roles: AI specialist, cybersecurity expert, biotech engineer, sustainability specialist, and this VR digital creator. If someone's listening now, maybe thinking about a career shift,
Yeah.
what's the single biggest pattern connecting all of these? What jumps out?
Well, if you lay those core skill sets side by side, what's really striking, almost overwhelming, is the demand for multidisciplinary skills. Being just an expert in one narrow field isn't enough anymore. But drilling down even further, whether your focus is biology or environmental rules or cyber defense or building virtual worlds, nearly every single high-value future job we've talked about demands strong skills in either data analysis or programming.
Often both.
Often both, yes,
Yeah.
simultaneously.
So it's like technical literacy is the universal key, the language connecting genetics and finance and environment.
That's a great way to put it. It connects the dots.
Okay, so just to recap for everyone listening, the 5 core future roles we explored, based on your sources, are AI specialist, cybersecurity expert, biotech engineer, sustainability specialist, and the VR digital creator.
Right. And looking at that list, and especially that common thread of technical skill, it does raise a pretty profound final question for you to think about. If this foundational technical literacy in data, in programming, increasingly in AI, is becoming basically mandatory for almost any high-value, future-proof career, from medicine to management, what does that really imply about our education system, about the skills we need to be teaching, not just in tech schools, but across the board, in every professional training program, starting today?
It implies that the most successful people going forward will be those who can blend deep knowledge in their specific field with real technical fluency. That's a powerful thought. Thank you for sharing your sources and taking this deep dive with us into the accelerating future of work.